In this video, you will get an overview of the general grant management process from the moment the funding opportunities, known as calls for proposals, are created to the final payment of the grants. You will also learn about the tools used throughout the grant lifecycle and how they work. Once the work programs are adopted, the calls for proposals and topics can be drafted and published on the EU Funding and Tenders portal. Each topic has a budget assigned to it. The creator of the call, known as the call coordinator, divides each work program into multiple calls to achieve the defined priorities. Each call is divided into topics, and each topic can be funded by one or more types of action. The EU Funding and Tenders portal shows all the EU funding programs and tender opportunities available to organisations seeking financial support for their projects. Any organisation from the public or private sector can use the portal to find an appropriate call for proposals. The information on the EU Funding and Tenders portal is public and available for anyone looking for funding opportunities to support their project. Once you open the EU Funding and Tenders portal, go to the Funding tab on the navigation menu to access the search engine and look for an appropriate call and/or topic. The search engine is on the left-hand side of the screen and is powered by AI. After entering your keywords in the search bar, the topics for proposals will be displayed. You can refine your search by selecting or excluding results by programming period, program, the call, and its status. We find the open items for submission. By default, past calls that are closed do not appear, but you can select them from the search filters if you want to. Each call contains general information, such as the funding program it belongs to, the call, the type of action, the type of MGA, its status, its deadline model, the opening date, and the deadline date. When the call reaches its deadline, it is no longer possible to submit a proposal. To find more information about the topic under the internal navigation on the left-hand side, click Topic Description. This will show the expected outcome, the objective and the scope. Under the internal navigation, click Budget Overview, and the section will display at the top of the screen. To view the relevant documents, click the Conditions and Documents link. If, after reading the call, you see that your entity is eligible, under Start Submission, you can check the Please select the type of your submission and press the Start Submission button to begin entering your proposal's details on the forms. The first field you will need to fill in is the PIC. But wait, what is a PIC? The PIC is the Participant Identification Code, a unique identifier which is mandatory for all organisations that want to submit a proposal. So, how does your organisation receive its PIC? Someone in your organisation must register all the organisation's data on the EU Funding and Tenders portal. To start entering this data, click on Funding and select Participant Register. On this screen, click on Register your organisation to start entering the necessary data. Registering your entity is a prerequisite to starting the submission of a project proposal. When the proposal is ready, you can send it to the European Commission. During the evaluation stage, the proposals are evaluated and scored against the award criteria set out in the call conditions on the topic page. The consortium will receive a digital letter with feedback on the ranked aspects of their proposal and informing them whether their proposal has passed the threshold and will receive funding or not. The time from the evaluation of the calls to the outcome with the rankings is called the time to inform, or TTI for short. The duration of the TTI cannot exceed 5 months. As soon as the invitation letters are sent to the organizations, the time to sign, or TTS, starts. The duration of the TTS depends on the duration of the TTI, and the duration of both combined cannot exceed 8 to 9 months, depending on the complexity of the project. When the invitation letter is sent to the consortium, the grant agreement preparation, known as the GAP stage, can start. During the GAP stage, the organisations in the consortium and the assigned EU officers provide further necessary data in the grant management system. This helps to prepare the grant agreement that will be signed by the consortiums that submitted the successful proposals. Once the grant agreement is signed, you will manage your project, including reports, payment requests, via the EU Funding and Tenders portal. Each project has different user roles that cover different aspects of project implementation and grant management. For instance, the grant agreement must be signed by the project legal signatory, or PL sign, of the consortium's coordinating entity. Once the PL sign signs, the authorising officer on the EU side will countersign the grant agreement. As soon as the grant agreement is signed by both sides, the consortium will receive the so-called pre-financing, marking the official start of the project.